Have you cooled at all? Were you mad? Were you excited? Were you nonplussed when they hired Todd Monken yesterday? When it officially came out that they had hired Todd Monken yesterday, have you cooled off since then? Are you less excited, more excited? A lot of people were upset. I'll tell you this. There was a guy clearing out the snow in the cul-de-sac from the city yesterday, and he asked who the head coach was. I said Todd Monken. He was actually happy. I go, really? He goes, yeah. I go, you didn't want anybody? He goes, nah, the Nate Shieldhouse guy was too young. This guy was not, he was like our age, Tone. Like, he was not an old guy. So that was one. I was like, okay. I said the internet certainly disagrees with you, but it's early. Certainly early. And I said these things have a tendency to, when they're met with very strong, I mean, the history here, there's been a lot of people who've hated head coaching hires before. And then like 24 hours, things kind of cool off. And then when I saw the Jim Schwartz stuff, I go, I don't think things are going to cool off. I mean, Jim Schwartz packing up his boxes and saying, I'm out of here. That tends to change a few things. 216-474-0092. Let's go to the phones. Vincent in Virginia. You're listening on the free Odyssey app. Yellow.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing wonderful. Go right on ahead.
The Browns have done what the Browns do. The most dysfunctional organization in the history of sports has done it again. I understand this was a Haslam selection, Monken. They said Barry wanted Shieldhouse, but Haslam went over his head and selected Monken. This has set the Browns back at least 3 years or more. They got to get used to a whole nother coaching staff, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, line coach, everything. This is horrible. I can no longer be a Browns fan. Been a Browns fan 62 years. Can't support this crap no more.
You're done after this.
We'll see you in September.
I'm done. I'll go to the Houston Browns, who we gave all our draft picks to, before I'll support this crap. I'm not staying around for another 3-4 years of rebuild. It's ridiculous.
You don't believe him, Tom?
Who did you want?
No.
Who'd you want?
I wanted Schwartz. He has 50% of the team in order. The defense, you have your whole defensive staff in place. He has respect from the offense and the defense. So why would we break that continuity to bring in somebody who's never been a head coach in the NFL? Never. It doesn't make sense. This organization is so damn stupid.
All right, now.
And the fans deserve better than this crap.
What could they do to get you back?
Nothing.
There's nothing at all. You're
So
done.
if they actually start winning games, you're still out?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be like, what if they start off 3-0 next year?
No. I believe the Browns won't win 2 games next year.
Okay, what if they draft Arch Manning next April then?
Well, I mean, that's a whole nother year. Who wants to go through another year of crap?
Well, are you saying you'd be? I'm just trying to see where the threat. This was an interesting threshold to say, Todd Monken, I'm done. What would be the threshold to bring you back?
Honestly, Ken, I can't even tell you. I'm so sick and tired of the dumb stuff that we do or the Browns do as an organization. You had 50% your room intact. Now work on the other 50% through free agency, trades, all this. I hope they trade Shador. I hope Miles fakes an injury and doesn't play most of the year or something. Because Hazlitt is a joke, an absolute joke of an owner. And I just feel like they've set the franchise back at least 3 years. Maybe, they'll make some noise if they draft Manning, but I can't do it.
All right. Vincent, I asked. You answered. Thank you very much for the call. That's the first one out of the box. Austin in Broadview Heights. Hello.
Hey, guys. Ken, I just wanted to talk about, I think, honestly, that you hit the nail on the head with the whole Arch Manning thing. I know you said you think it's the most unlikely thing, but I think it was last season that report came out that Jimmy Haslam is, reportedly in love with Arch Manning and the Manning family. I think how he looked at it yesterday, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was upset when I found out the news at first. But the way I'm looking at it now, almost 24 hours later, is maybe Todd Monken could have been the one that wanted Shador in Baltimore. So maybe because of the obsession at the quarterback position for Haslam, he's looking at it where maybe Monken can try to untap that potential he sees in Shador. And if Shedeur doesn't end up working out, if Monken doesn't end up working out, and the team ends up being horrible next year, then Jimmy Haslam gets what he wants. If Arch Manning ends up balling in college, then he gets another chance. He'll pick him number 1 overall. Then we'll be right back to square one, just like we were in 2018 with Baker, and we'll go from there.
Now, brother, that sounds good, but what about the text I got that Monken wants Deshaun Watson?
Oh, man. Yeah. Ben, I don't know about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to lie to you, Ken.
Yeah. Like, Austin, like, I think that the third scenario I played out, the Arch Manning scenario, Austin, thank you, is the one that I think fans right now, I mean, it's January. I think that that's the pie in the sky one that they would hope for, but there's a lot of things that just have to fall your way, and you have to go out and lose. And I don't want to root for him to lose. It would defy all my principles of everything I've argued about my entire life. I don't want to fight for losing. We reach points in season where I won't yell at them for losing. We get to that where I'm not mad that they didn't win, but
I'm not going to do look, when LeBron James was available way back when for the Cavs, that whole season was about finishing with the worst
the NBA.
record.
I'm different about the NBA.
And that's the NBA, and we've had it out over all the tank stuff. I'm just telling you that maybe you could tell me if it's a way to cope or whatever. I am operating as if there's zero chance that the Browns can finish with the worst record in football because of that defense and because of that schedule. So if it happens, it happens, and maybe this time next year, I'm going to have a smile. I'm going to have a grin ear to ear, like, holy cow, we can really do it. But in the meantime, I'm assuming that can't happen because I just saw how dominant Myles Garrett was this year, and unless you're holding him out of the entire season, there's just no way they're going to finish with the worst record in football.
I know you're looking at it like it's completely ridiculous, but it's not like they don't have a track record where they've done it before. I mean, it's happened before. Now, you ended up picking the fourth best quarterback out of that draft. Still a good quarterback. That means it's just a good class, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not a hit on him. It just ends up being the fourth best out of that class. This would be for one person in particular, and who already looks like he would be. And I know that what Austin had just said about the Manning family, Haslam loving Arch Manning. I mean, I think any owner is going to love Arch Manning. I think you're going to find 32 owners who are going to love Arch Manning unless they already have Patrick Mahomes. So you got 31 owners who are going to love Arch Manning. That goes without saying. But they've done it before where they have been, okay, this hasn't worked. It's not working. We have all this that we have to shed over time. We might have some young players that we can hold over here. And they do. And they did even in 2016, getting ready for 2017 when they went 0-16. But this has been done before for a quarterback. And they may go, you know what? We just ain't going to make the same mistake we made before with the other guy. And we're going to take this guy, and he's going to be better than the other guy we took. And that's going to be the end of it. I don't think it's out of the question. I also know that I'm a hopeful Browns fan and want this thing fixed by the time my sons graduate high school.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I understand that what I'm saying might not be the most realistic thing on a Thursday morning.
I have zero desire. And, again, we have had it out like no other show, maybe in this city's history, on the argument about tanking. I'm just telling you right now, I have no desire to sit there and look at the Todd Monken hire and say, yeah, they hired him to lose games. I just have no desire. Like, why even show up to work over the next year if that's the case?
And get a paycheck.
That would be.
A lot of people show up to work just for a paycheck.
Honestly, I could not stomach that. I would have not a lot of desire into doing those shows.
You can stomach this?
Because I think they.
And by the way, you've stomached it before. We were on the air together when they did that.
I think it's more reasonable to believe that they think they're closer than they probably are. That they're a little delusional. And you know what? I'll even buy into a lot of that because their defense can be so good. Can they be that way without Jim Schwartz? Remains to be seen, but they've got the pieces and parts.
You know how bad things have to be where that is like the dreadful scenario about it? Because it's like, okay, they got a good defense. I know they have a good defense. I don't believe the people who are there were a couple people, and there's always going to be some who, anybody can call this defense. No, I mean, they still had a lot of these guys even when Joe Woods was calling the defense, and we hated the defense. So I do think that you have to be able to replace coordinators. I think you have to have that ability.
And they better figure this out pretty quickly.
You're exactly right. And I'll use the Bill Callahan argument later on. Remind me about that because I think it's apropos. But I'm going to tell you right now, like, this is a part where I don't think a lot of fans want to go through this for nothing again. And I think a lot of fans look at that QB room. They don't see a lot. And I got guys who I respect. And they're like, yeah, maybe Daniel Jones coming off an Achilles injury. Okay, maybe Anthony Richardson. No, I'm not interested in him. Maybe Kyler Murray. Absolutely not. I'd want to hit my head on this table until I pass out. These are answers that I think that the Browns know that, hey, none of these guys are going to bring anybody to the stadium here. What about Arch Manning? What about him? What about him? And so, yeah, your mind tends to go crazy. Your hopes tend to go crazy because it's the only way out of this. We've had the best player in the history of the Browns on defense, and he's putting out memes last night about how he doesn't like the hire. This is where we're at. So, obviously, when we've had the greatest player in defensive history for the Cleveland Browns, an old franchise who's had tremendous players playing before, and he's posting memes about it, it's like, what are we holding on to here? So, yeah, I'm not going to blame anybody who goes, yeah, maybe Ken, you're right, maybe Arch Manning, because it'll drive you crazy if you don't have any hope. Sorry for yelling at you.